Okay, guys, now most of you know that this is my stepdaughter, Renee. You've met her before in videos and stuff. And I had promised before to give you guys some more background. You seem interested, which delights me. And I told you I would give you more background on her and everything. And now that my wife and I are in a very trying circumstance in regards to Renee and her future, I thought this would be a good time. Yeah, huh? She's not overly thrilled with me right now for having taken her out of bed to make this video. She was just like relaxing. She had to get up anyway to eat, but still she's not forgiving me for that, honey. Yeah. Yeah. There's one key though. Before I get into all the details, I'll show you the one key that I can do for Renee that will always get me over and get a better mood. Hey, listen, how about this? Listen, if you make the video with me, tomorrow I'll get you Chinese food. Button pusher. I know what to push. What do you think? Is that your favorite thing in the world? Yeah. I know it. A few bucks for Chinese food, and she's like, "We'll make videos all goddamn night now, honey." Yeah. Just keep saying those words. Keep saying those Chinese food words. But anyway, brief history of Renee. When she was just a few weeks old. Yes, we're getting it tomorrow. When she was just a few weeks old, she got sick. And unfortunately, they didn't diagnose what was going on quickly enough with her. And so by the time that but what? It's the Chinese food isn't right now. It's not quite yet. Yeah. So when they was just a few weeks old, a couple weeks old, she got sick. And yeah, you did, huh? She got sick, and it took them a while to diagnose that it was a case of spinal meningitis. And in that time it took them to make that diagnosis, she had a significant amount of brain damage done, and that's why Renee can't see, and why she sits in the wheelchair, and why she has spent her whole life battling seizure activity. You like telling your story, huh? As you can tell, she's very good natured about anything. Well, that's true of her. I mean, without any joke, very good natured about anything that comes her way in life. But at that time, they told my wife that she would probably not live to be more than like 5 or 7 years old, and she sits here currently at 34. So basically, Renee told the doctors, "I'll decide when it's my time. You worry about you." So that's just one of the many miracles, for lack of a better term, that we've experienced with Renee. But now, what's happening is, I'll be 60 this year. My wife will be 61. And we have to be concerned about, should anything happen to us, where will Renee go? What will she do? Who will she be with? And the problem with that is there are a lot of good programs around, but many times they won't have openings for years. So what we have to start considering as we're getting older, and of course Renee has exceeded anybody's wildest dreams, and she's going to be around with us, we hope, for a lot of years to come. We have to start putting aside our own desire to have her with us forever and looking out for her benefit, because if something were to happen to my wife and I, and Renee is still with us, then we won't be in charge of determining where she goes, where she gets her care, where she lives. And there is a wide variety of places where she could be placed, but some are significantly better than others. So as my wife and I are considering our own futures, whether we want to stay in this crappy state of New York, which we really don't want to do, and what that means for Renee. If we do decide once Braxton's out of college that we want to relocate, is it in Renee's best interest to come with us? To come with us and be placed wherever we end up, to be placed here and we'd come back and visit her, because one of the few good things about New York is the facilities they have for for the disabled. You think you're really funny when I'm trying to be serious, don't you? Normally, I think out of bed you'd be all like bummed down, like leave me alone and shit. Now I'm trying to be serious, so you're yucking it up. Yeah, it's because I said Chinese food, huh? Yeah. This will be her until tomorrow, until she. If I forget that Chinese food, you guys won't be seeing me. She'll figure something out. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Show me that fist. But that's to say that this is the most difficult decision that my wife and I have ever had to make would be just a ridiculous understatement. There's nothing that even comes close. And it's such a hard balance doing what you know might be best for your child, but might make you feel really, really bad. So that's where we're at. We're going to spend the next probably at least year and a half trying to figure out exactly what is best for Renee and do the things that will set her up in the best possible situation for the rest of her life. But she's been obviously with us every day, every way. She's the absolute, she is, and I say this without shadow of a doubt, the sweetest human being I have ever met. The amount of pain with the different things physically Renee has been through in her life that she is able to absorb and keep this as a demeanor. She has a metal rod in her spine that was placed there years ago because her spine was starting to tip over. She has a unit inside of her chest that we swipe a magnet over when she goes into seizure to try and stop the seizures. She's been on all you think that's really funny, don't you? All sorts of medications through the years. You have to remember she is someone who I've gotten good at finding out if she hardly ever cries. But if you can see that she's visibly in pain, I have to just start touching her body and find where the cramps are. Renee can't massage a cramp out herself, doesn't know how to. She gets a calf cramp, bring her toes towards her face or anything like that. And she takes it all without a blink. The last time she went in for surgery, when she came home, I was carrying her up the wheelchair ramp to bring her into this room, and she was laughing her ass off. Laughing, full out, balls out, just out of surgery. Had to still be in pain from stitches. Doesn't even begin to phase her. I was a professional wrestler for over 30 years. A lot of the stuff she's been through, I'd be crying like a little bitch. I would be whining and moaning and saying, I'm not getting up and doing that, it hurts. And she does this. This is her. Especially if CHINESE food is involved. I'm afraid to keep saying it because she will send my ass out for it right now. I don't know if the place is still open, but if I say it too many more times, I'm going to be left with no options but to get it now and tomorrow. Listen, that's basically it, guys. I wanted to bring you up to speed on that. And, sometimes you get some decisions to make in life that are just so beyond heart-wrenching. I can't even describe to you exactly what it's like going through this and trying to figure out what's best. But we'll figure out what's best for her. But I thought I'd give you a little more background on it. You guys have been asking, and share with you something that we're going through. So maybe sometimes when you guys are going through something, difficult choice, difficult decisions, difficult times, maybe it just makes you feel better to know that others are dealing with similar things too, and we're all kind of in the same boat together. So what do you think, Nay? She doesn't really have any speech anymore. Years ago, she had a few little phrases she would say, but she does recognize, as you saw, a lot of the things that we do say. Back in the day, she could say things like, if you told her, say, I love you, she'd say, I love, and things of that nature. But the seizure activity has just taken that away from her. But she understands the emotion in one's voice. She understands certain words. And just in case you guys thought that was just a fluke, I'll show you. Nay, so what are we going to have for lunch tomorrow? To have Chinese food? You want to show them the one other thing you remember? I know I keep signing this off, but you guys will enjoy this. Years ago, I'll make the story really quick. Years ago, Nay used to sit by me all the time while I was watching football. Well, apparently it was a Saturday, my wife was gone, and Notre Dame was not playing particularly well. By the time my wife gets back from her errands, my sweet, innocent little stepdaughter had learned to say the word shit. Yeah, can you remember that? Needless to say, my wife was not going to be happy when she came home and discovered that. So I was doing anything I could to try and redirect her or what have you. Didn't work. I got in big trouble. But to this day, doesn't matter how long we go in between discussing it, she still remembers that if we have this conversation. Nay, listen, baby. What do we say when we watch football, Nay? Huh? What do we say when we watch football? Do we say, shit? You remember that? Yeah. What can I say? I'm a positive influence. Really?